Good afternoon, class, and how are you guys all doing today? I would like to take this time to quickly tell you, don't forget to wash your hands and make sure you don't touch your face. All right, and then you probably guys are wondering what I'm doing outside. Well, funny you should ask. I am outside in lieu of our lesson today. So I'm outside enjoying the scenery, listening to the birds chirp, because what better way to do a lesson about poetry than to do a lesson about poetry in nature? All right, so I would like for you guys to start on your quick write. So go ahead and take out your notebooks, and I would like for you guys to write a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph on the significance of poetry in your lives. And I would like for you to consider the following questions. What does poetry mean to you? What kind of poems have you read or written? Do you have a favorite poem? If you don't, what is a favorite song that you have? And what are the elements in it that are poetic? And what do you think poetry consists of? So go ahead and take 5 minutes. We will reconvene afterwards, and we will discuss some of the topics that you guys brought up, things of that nature. So go ahead and take those 5 minutes, and then we'll reconvene. So 5 minutes pass, we do a discussion, and now we're reconvening. All right, students, thank you so much for all those brilliant topics that you guys brought up today. I really appreciate your work and that you guys did a very good job today. So without further ado, as you guys guessed it, we are doing a poetry about identity. So the objective for today is students will be able to write a free verse poem that uses poetic devices in order to express their identity. So history and form. So historically, poems have been somewhat rhythmic so that it's easier to remember, so that it's easier to pass down orally. So once writing has been established, people started writing on paper, so they didn't need to remember anymore and use these rhythmic tools in order to pass down these stories. So eventually, poems have become more structured, oriented. They take on various shapes. Various types of poetry emerge, different rhyming schemes, all this stuff due to being able to write things down and mess with and play with the various forms. So poetry is something that comments on the human condition. It talks about who you are as a person, the things around you, the sound you hear, the way words are put into place that have those dual meanings and can mean something and mean another, and just have a range of different perspectives that can be brought in and a different range of interpretations. So for the purpose of today's lesson, however, we will just be sticking to free verse. So here is a additional resource. The resource is called What Makes a Poem. So this is a TED Talk, and it just basically goes over everything I already went over on the previous slide, but into more depth. It talks about the history, it talks about Muhammad Ali, who was a famous boxer, and it goes into very good detail. So I would definitely take the time. It's only 5 minutes, so go ahead and pause the video now, take a look at the resource, and then go ahead and come back to us. All right. So as we jump into free verse. So free verse does not follow conventional structure. It does not have a rhyme pattern. And there are no strict rules to follow other than being artistic and creative. So if you really wanted to, you can throw in rhymes. You can do all the sorts of other things, iambic pentameter, things like that, and just call it free verse, because free verse has no structure and has no rules. So there's nothing telling you that you can't rhyme if you don't or do want to. So identity poems is what we're going to be going into today. So I would like to have you guys fill out this identity poem worksheet. So in the worksheet, it has a couple boxes, so you guys can go ahead and fill them out. I will read some of them for you. Like, for example, my name. So your nickname that was given to you, or origin of the nickname, or origin of your real name, meanings of the name, stuff like that. Your likes and dislikes, hobbies, interests, foods, games, sports, technology, animals, music, your community, people in your neighborhood, what you see on a daily basis. You know, you walk outside, what do you see? Do you see trees, grass? Is there bugs in the grass? What kind of bugs? Are ladybugs, clovers, stuff like that? All this stuff can be used as interpretation, or all these things can be a poem that you interpret from the world. And then when you finish, I would like for you to pick from the boxes and go ahead and use that as inspiration for your poem. So the elements of any poem, the bedrock of any poem, is lyrical, tone, rhythmic, and imagery words, line breaks. So line breaks are something that's very powerful in poetry, because line breaks provide strength, and you want to use very powerful words at the end of each line in order to emphasize what you're talking about. So we'll go over more of line breaks in a little bit. The imagery, so the things you see, what color is the grass, what is it compared to, a sea of leaves to convey a pile of leaves. Instead of saying a pile, you can say a sea of leaves to signify that there's like a lot of leaves. All right, so Carrying Our Words is a poem written by Ophelia Zapata. She is a member of the Tohono O'odham tribe, and that is native to Southwest Arizona. So I'll go ahead and read the poem out to you right now. We travel carrying our words. We arrive at the ocean. With our words, we are able to speak of the sounds of thunderous waves. We speak of how majestic it is, of the ocean power that gifts us songs. We sing of our respect and call it our relative. So very powerful poem here. So, for example, here is a good, very good imagery. So you can hear the sounds of the thunderous waves. So thundering is very loud, and the waves, how they crash down onto on itself or on the beach, stuff like that. So that's a very, very powerful right there. It's the sounds of thunderous waves. And then right here, line break. We sing of our respect. So respect. She used respect at the very end of that sentence. So that's very powerful because she identifies with the ocean as her relative. So basically, she's signifying that the ocean is something to be respected and perhaps even revered with this majestic here. So therefore, when she interprets is that the ocean, like I said earlier, is something to be respected. So that's another reason why she used respect here as a line break. So moving on. So we will write your identity poem. So when you write your identity poem, I would like for you to make it as long or as short as possible. Use at least 3 things from your identity poem worksheet. Use line breaks to make words more powerful. Where you cut your line matters. Your poem should tell me something about who you are and what matters to you. Use sensory details. It doesn't have to rhyme, but it should compel emotion or appeal to the senses. And most importantly of all, express yourself. Because your words matter, your ideas matter, everything that you come up with matters. As such, please make it respectful as possible, and we will be sharing these tomorrow. So come ready to share, and we will see you tomorrow. I would like to thank you. Have a good one.